In today's AI tutorial, I'll be showing you guys how to install AutoGPT on your computer locally in no time at all. This tutorial is going to be for all learners, and I'll make sure to cover every single base within this tutorial so nobody gets lost. All I ask in return is if you guys go and leave a like on this video, as it helps out on the algorithm, and also consider subscribing to the channel as I post daily AI YouTube content, and I'm actually making a video on all the cool things you can do within AutoGPT coming very soon, so do stay subscribed for that. With that being said, let's get into this very easy tutorial on how to set it up locally on your computer. At the end of the video, I'll also include another solution where you can use AutoGPT without installing it on your computer. However, it's kind of a stripped down version, so I do recommend installing it locally. So there will be a few things you need to download in order to install AutoGPT on your computer. The first thing is going to be Git for Windows. I'll have the links to everything down in the description. So you can just install it by clicking the download button and running the installer. My screen just went black. That was because it was asking if I wanted to accept anything. You just want to go next. Then you can select the destination of where you want Git to be installed. I'm just going to keep it in my C drive, and I recommend you guys do too, unless you're having some spacing issues. Hit next to everything else. Next. You don't want to change any of that. Going next, and it's going to install Git for you. And bam, as you guys can see, we have Git installed. You don't need to launch it, so we can just hit finish. Now, the next thing you'll need to have installed is Python. I recommend you install the latest version, which is going to be that 3.11.3. As of recording this video, obviously that's going to change in the future. I recommend installing always the latest version. So you can just install it by going to downloads, clicking Python, and it's going to be an installer, the exact same thing as Git. So I'm not going to go over installing that. I'm sure you'll understand by now, but that is how you download it, by going to downloads and then this button right here. So once you have Python installed and Git installed, you're ready to go to GitHub over here. Now, one thing I did want to mention, and this is probably not going to apply to most of you guys watching this video, however, it will apply to some, is that if you're going to be using this for things like Stable Diffusion or anything else, you may want to download a later version, just because some people have had bugs with the newer version trying to use Stable Diffusion. This won't matter for AutoGPT, but this is just kind of a side note. So if you're not really interested in using Stable Diffusion, just download the most recent version. If not, you can go with something from before April 5th. So the Python 3.10.10 version will probably be best for you. Now, before doing anything on the GitHub site, you actually want to make a folder on your desktop. So let's go do that. So I'm going to go make my folder in the A drive over here. So I'm just going to open that up and create new folder, and I'm going to call it AutoGPT. However, you guys can call it whatever you'd like. Next thing I'm going to do is double click into the folder and then come up here to the directory bar, and you're going to want to copy that directory. And the next thing you want to do is open up the command bar right here and type in CMD on your keyboard and then hit enter. And this is going to open up a command program that looks like this. Now, the next thing you want to do is actually go over to GitHub, and then you're going to want to find this green button right here, and you're going to want to go to this copy option right here to copy this URL. Now, I do recommend you guys use the link to go to this GitHub, just because there are some scam ones out there on GitHub right now, and you don't want to be installing the wrong one. So I'll make sure to include the legitimate one in the description. Next, we're going to go to the command prompt here, and we're going to type in git and then space clone, and then we're going to paste in that URL that we got from GitHub, and you just want to hit enter on CMD. And if everything worked correctly up to this point, you'll see this 100% marker and everything is all set to go. If you've run into any errors, please join my Discord. It will be in the description, and I'll try and help you guys out. There's a ton of people who are into AI in my Discord already, so it's a really fun community to begin with. But if you do have any problems, please do feel free to join it. Alrighty, the next thing you want to do to double ensure that everything was installed is go back to that AutoGPT folder that you created, and you want to make sure that there's things inside of it. As you guys can see, the GitHub has installed everything inside that folder that we created, so everything is perfect and ready to go so far. Alrighty, the next thing you want to do is take that command prompt that you originally used and close it out, just because you don't want to get confused. And then inside that AutoGPT folder, you want to open it up and then go to the command bar again, and then type in CMD and hit enter. Now we're going to be in the AutoGPT auto-gpt directory. This time we're going to type in pip install -r requirements reference.txt, and we're going to hit enter. Now, if you do have any issues with pip and this doesn't work for you, that's most likely because you don't have the latest or one of the latest versions of Python. Pip comes with Python in all of its later versions, so that would be the issue. Also, if it's telling you there's a new release of pip available, don't worry. Everything has worked without error so far. You don't need to update pip. Alrighty, so the next thing we want to do is actually close out of that CMD process. You don't need that anymore, and you want to go to the website pinecone.io. Once again, I'll have everything linked down in the description. On pinecone.ai, you just want to make a free account, so we're going to do that right now. Probably be sent a code to your email, so you can just input that code, and once you get that code, you can just hit sign up and it should create you that account. The reason you need a Pinecone account is because you need the API keys that come with your Pinecone account. Alrighty, so the next thing you want to do, and make sure you listen for this, is that you want to go to API keys and then you want to create a new key. You don't want to use this default key that it gives you. You want to create this new key. So I'm just going to call it AutoGPT, and I'm going to create this key. Another important thing is that you never want to share your key with anybody. It is crucial you keep this hidden. Obviously, you guys are going to see what key I have in this tutorial, but I'm instantly going to delete it after I'm done the tutorial. But this is very important to note. So what you're going to want to do is once you've created your key, you're just going to want to go and copy the key value by hitting that button on the right there. Then you want to go to your AutoGPT folder that you had created and installed all those different files in. And you want to find this .env.template file. You want to right click it and hit open with, and then go to more apps if it's looking for more apps. And you just want to open it in any WordPad or Notepad you have. So I'm just going to select Notepad here. Now you want to scroll down until you find the Pinecone API key, and this is where you want to paste in your API key. So once again, I'm just going to ensure I copy that key value and then go into my Notepad and paste it in where it states to paste in your Pinecone API key. The next thing you need to do is get your env, which is just your environment right here. So you can just copy that and paste that in where it says your Pinecone region. The next thing you'll need is an open API key. So we're going to go over to OpenAI and get that API key. Now I'm sure you guys already have an OpenAI key, as this is the account you use for ChatGPT. So I won't go over how to make an account. It's pretty self-explanatory, but you will need one. And what you want to do is go to API keys right here. I'll have the link to this as well. And you want to select create new key. Now I'm just going to call this key AutoGPT, and it's going to create the secret key. And as you can see, this is my secret key that we created. Well, not so secret because you guys are watching this video. Obviously, I'm going to delete this after I'm done recording. So I have that copied, and you just want to bring it over to that notepad. From there, you want to find the open API key equals. You don't want to paste it here. You need to paste it right here where it says equals. So we're going to paste that in. Now there are actually more API keys you can put into this file. So let's say you wanted to do some like cool voice AI stuff where it talks back to you in your own voice. You could do that by getting an 11 Labs API key and inputting it here. However, I'm not going to show you that in today's tutorial just because it's really not necessary, but maybe I'll make a tutorial in the future. So do subscribe to stay tuned for that. Next thing you want to do is actually save that file. So we're going to select file and then save, and we're going to close that notepad, and then we're going to go to our AutoGPT folder, and we're actually going to rename that .env file by removing the .template at the end. It's going to ask if you change a file name extension, blah, blah, blah. You just want to say yes. And then the next thing you want to do is open up your command prompt. And if you don't know what I did, once again, command line CMD, and I hit enter, and it will bring this screen up right here. Next thing you want to do is type in Python space scripts / main.py. Now, before you hit enter, something cool you can do is hit -- speak, and it will actually talk back to you like as a human conversation. But from everything I've tested, I don't enjoy it. Find it kind of annoying, and I'd rather just read text than have some AI speaking everything it's doing. So that is always an option if you guys want to try it out, but we're going to not include that. So we're going to hit enter here. Now, if you do get the error that says please run Python-m AutoGPT, don't worry. All you have to type in is literally what it says to type in. So Python-m AutoGPT, and you will notice that our AutoGPT is now set up. So it's going to ask for our name. We are going to do AI Kingdom. It says, I am at your service. For example, an AI designed to autonomously blah, 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 blah. AI Kingdom is, and we'll say an AI bot that finds all of the colleges and universities in Canada. And it's going to say enter up 5 goals for your AI. We're going to say find colleges in Canada and ensure all information is correct. And as you guys can see, it is thinking. Our AutoGPT is working. Now, if you don't want to add in 5 goals and that's too much for you, you can just hit enter and it will automatically start thinking, because 5 goals is kind of a lot. And yeah, guys, that's how you install and use AutoGPT. But let's say you don't have a very good PC to be running AutoGPT locally on. Not to worry, there is Agent GPT, which is completely online and you can use it for free, which is awesome. So I'll have the link to this as well down below, and I'm probably going to make a whole separate video on how to use Agent GPT, but simply it looks very similar to ChatGPT. You put in your name, we're going to call it the Kingdom, and you put in a goal, find all the Canadian colleges, find all the Canadian college names, and then you deploy the agent, and it's going to start thinking about how it would do this. And it's going to add all these tasks, and yeah, it's a lot simpler version, but it's just nowhere near as good as the local version. So I do recommend, if you have the resources on your computer, definitely use the local version, and I'll be sure to include more tutorials in the future updating this tutorial, because I'm sure it's going to get outdated very, very soon. But yeah, guys, I hope you did enjoy this tutorial. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, and please subscribe to the channel. I'm posting bangers every single day for the AI community. Have yourselves a fantastic day. See ya later.